Hi traders, welcome to the Village Trader Chats. My name is Njabulin Tabande. I am the host of the Village Trader podcast, a weekly podcast I host chatting with other traders and learning from them. Tomorrow's guest is Simon Brown, episode out tomorrow. Link to those all in the description below. Do check that out. Um, Before we get into today's chat, I'd like to ask you to subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification button so that you don't miss any of these videos. Um, Drop a like button, man, if you do like the videos. All right, let's get straight into it. First chart of the day is uh, Sappi. I'd like to look at Sappi first before we get into Mondi. Um, if you look at Sappi, zooming back just a little while back into 2015, that uh, 22 Rand, 29 Rand, and 35 Rand seem to have been that bottom of the floor for, if you may, for Sappi, and the share just seem to park there and move back. I think if I do move into my daily chart, we see that cyclic nature of Sappi. I don't think my chart goes any further, but you can see it bouncing around that 22 Rand, 29 Rand, and that 30, 35 Rand level. Uh, uh, and it looks good to turn at the minute, making high highs and high lows, looking good there. So what I'm waiting for is the 30-week exponential moving average to cross my jump back to my daily chart. Uh, excuse me, the 30-week exponential moving average to cross up the 60-week exponential moving average before I can jump into that trade. But certainly that 35 Rand or 34 and some change level look very, very good. It looks very, very interesting. Once we break above that, there's multiple levels to target there, all the way, I think perhaps up to that 105 and some change highs. You could possibly ride that trade up to those ranges there, because that trade looking good. That was support look holding well, that resistance holding well at the minute, but that breakthrough, that call it 30 Rand resistance, perhaps if we move it to that close of that candle there. So 30 Rand and some change. If break and close above that, we're looking good. Also, but then waiting for that 35 Rand break above uh, um, um, that 35 Rand level. 200-day, we seem to be closing well above it with that bullish engulfing candle there. So yeah, looking good. Sappi getting on my watch list. I have an alert set up for when my 30 crosses the 60, and then I'll look into get into look for long opportunities on that trade. PL. Next on my list is Imperial Logistics, looking quite bearish at the minute. Um, with that symmetrical triangle pattern there. But what does worry me about the symmetrical pattern is that we've now gone beyond that 2/3 of the way in. When we did, it broke, it had a false break and came right back in. But that 200-day exponential moving average held like a beast, held quite well. So I'm looking for a break below. Little bit cautious on that trade, perhaps that minimum target, taking half of the trade around that 24 and 50, and then holding it down to 4 and 74 using that width of the triangle pattern from its broadest point, but not necessarily terribly exciting, because we've gone through that 2/3 of the way in. So that does kind of reduce the wind at my back, if you will, on this trade, but does look rather interesting with the stop above 44 and that distance to 4 and is quite chunky, about 90ish drop, a 90ish% drop there. But we could see some pressure on Imperial, but not terribly exciting. Next on my list is Mondi. Mondi looking good on the upside. Has been making higher highs. Higher highs and higher lows. Waiting for that break above that 356 resistance there. 3% higher takes me to 364ish level. So it close above 364. I'm going to go in with a stop below 330. Targeting that 411, also risk reward dependent on that trade, and then we'll see once we're in the trade how we manage that trade going on the long side, and perhaps what I do see as I'm looking at the chart in a minute, that little bull flag there. That broke at the open with that gap up, came back, but closed above above that resistance of the flag. That's looking good. And if I take the flagpole structure, this trade actually looks good. We could have a fair minimum target of 391. Taking that from this boy's point, let's see how. Okay, let me remove that. Let me look at the risk reward ratio there. I don't like going on a long trade while it's red. Seems counterintuitive to me, but yeah, with a stop of just below there, the similar stop that we would have put on the break there. Of around 330, 331-ish level. Decent risk reward of about 3. Not a bad trade at all, not a bad trade on that bull flag there. And perhaps once it breaks above there, we can add into that position and then target that width of this range, rather, as we spoke about previously. So we could push our luck back to that 400-ish level, 406-ish level. That risk reward looks very, very interesting. I might be entering into this trade first thing tomorrow morning. I'll do some further analysis a bit later in the evening tonight to see how I feel necessarily on this trade. Last on my list is the new gold, the new gold platinum ETF, looking quite decent. I had that resistance, if you can put it there, which came back to be retested and was retested again until it was broken through. Waiting for that breakthrough, close above that 151 level, targeting that 167.30 level. Looking good. My exponential moving averages point me to the long side. Looking good on that trade. I'm looking to enter over the next couple of days. We'll see how that pans out. Also risk reward dependent, because that stop looked like it could give me a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. But we'll see. If it gives me less than 2, because I like my trades, especially as I enter them, to be at least a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And then as it moves in my directions and as I get more signals, I'd like to add into the trade to improve that reward side of the things without necessarily increasing the risk on the trade. So I want to be bigger when I'm right and quite small when I'm wrong. So if the initial risk reward is less than 2, I will let that trade pass. So that's it for today. Thank you for hanging with me. Um, Please do get down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of some of the charts that we looked at today. Let me know what you are looking at, what some of the charts that you would like me to look at. Yeah, we could cover. We'll cover that also in our weekly webinar with Simon Brown tomorrow. Link to that in the description. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe, trade well, be disciplined. See you again on Thursday. Cheers.